Hey, Yuri's fucking Burns. Don't you forget it. Once upon a time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino's 9th film. I'm just gonna say it right now, folks. My least favorite. I haven't seen Jackie Brown though. Everyone says that's the worst one. This is my least favorite. Does that mean it's a bad movie? No, not at all.
We're always down to watch a Tarantino film, but just from the get-go, something was off about this movie. Maybe it's the change in production. Maybe it was the length and the fact that it was about 30 minutes too long.
Why was this movie so fucking long? Just to show Brad Pitt driving around town for an extra 10 minutes? All that was obviously intentional. Quentin Tarantino's not an amateur film dude. But I did not agree with most of these artistic decisions of his.
It's not showing Los Angeles, it's not showing Hollywood, it's showing Brad.
Yeah, it's showing up those really nice, expensive cars they had to pay for to get into the movie. Obviously, Brad Pitt and Leo are fucking awesome in this movie. They killed it. Brad Pitt being my favorite character.
But that's it.
There's not really too much scenes of them interacting.
There's not.
There's scenes of them explaining how they interact, but there's not enough scenes of them just dialoguing between each other.
Yeah, Tarantino was saying that they're, dynamic as some of the best on screen in a long time. And
they are, but it's just not enough to make that a compelling case. When you have other movies like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Hateful Eight, where there's way more dynamics going on between the characters like all the time.
Speaking on the characters, Brad Pitt and Leo are the only characters here that you care about, that you enjoy seeing. There are no other characters that you really enjoy watching or that add that extra oomph to the movie.
Even Margot Robbie, she was so prominent in all the trailers. She doesn't really do much of anything. She doesn't really say much of anything besides show her feet so Quentin Tarantino can jerk off while he watches it.
I mean, Tarantino said that was the point of her character, but again, when you have Margot Robbie or any A-list actor at that point, like, give us more than just, feet.
I appreciate the movie's appreciation of movies, if that makes sense. Like, it really tries to capture like the 60s kind of era of like spaghetti westerns and stuff, and like it was enjoyable to watch, but it goes on for far too long to the point where you're like, when's the next scene that's supposed to like progress the movie gonna happen?
Yeah, there's so many times here where I'm thinking this is not propelling the story. It's bringing it to a grinding halt just to show us something that you're like, okay, man, I get it, but please, can we continue the story?
The narrative itself isn't that much to talk about. This movie just felt so fucking loose. Characters are just doing stuff and you're just sitting there forced to watch. You don't really care. You're just like, oh, there goes Brad Pitt going to hang out with girl.
But I knew that the Manson thing was gonna be like a side thing. It wasn't about it, it's just something that happens. But in my head, I'm like, all right, so what's the real story here if that's just the side thing? And nothing ever revealed itself to be the main point of the movie until the end when the Manson thing became the main point of the movie. And you're like, okay, so if that's the main point of the movie, then where's the rest of the build-up? How come you didn't show the characters anymore? And what's going on here, man? Climax of the movie was like the best 5 minutes of film I've watched in a super duper long time, but was it enough to make up for 2 hours and 40 minutes of runtime?
As good as it was, it felt like it was just kind of forcing it as a crowd pleaser, which it was because it pleased me. But Tarantino was also aware of that fact, and I liked it in the moment, but looking back on it, it just felt kind of almost cheap.
Along with the climactic scene and the Bruce Lee scene, more specifically the Bruce Lee scene, those were the only scenes that I really felt were going back to the classic Tarantino. And that's the problem I have with the rest of this movie is since it was just happening and there wasn't great characters, there wasn't great writing, there wasn't amazing cinematography, I didn't feel like this was really a Tarantino movie. I was telling Evo, some of it felt like there was a little bit of Edgar Wright in some of these scenes. And people have been saying that the style was a major change for him, and I clearly see that now.
And I'm all for directors trying new things, and I feel like he didn't try enough. I feel like he just kind of half-assed it. It was just too loose. Like, it needed to be tightened up. What's the rating time for this? Rating time. That was it. Oh. Yeah, did it. Thank you.
I'm gonna give this movie a 6 out of 10. If it weren't for Leo and Brad caring and being the testicles on this movie, it really wouldn't amount to anything. It hurts me to give it this rating, but that's how I feel and that's how it is. Tarantino, I still love you. I just wish that this wasn't what happened.
I'm gonna give this a 6.5 out of 10. I really loved watching Brad Pitt. He was like probably one of my favorite performances of the year. Like, he was so fun to watch. There's so many parts in the movie that were actually really good, but as a whole, it just lacked a lot of that polish I love seeing in Tarantino movies, and it really lacks the replayability. You should still go watch it, support Tarantino. It's not a bad movie at all. It's just kind of disappointing for us.
Was it worth 10 minutes standing ovation?
All right, that's it, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye. Quentin Tarantino's ninth. Nope.
My brain just like Really? You hear that? I'm not afraid anymore.
Hey, shut your mouth. It was like, well,